Hello, this is Renee here from Reborn Health and welcome. I'm an intuitive eating nutritionist and I help women to create a positive relationship with food, their body and themselves so they can get out there and absolutely enjoy their life, enjoy food and be the positive role model that they want to be for their children and those that they love. So welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about diet culture, and the reason why I'm talking about this is a term that I often use and anyone else in the non-diet world, and if this is something that you're new to, that you're not really familiar with, you know, the non-diet world, intuitive eating or anything like that, you might be a little bit confused as to what diet culture is. So I want to talk a little bit about what it is, how to spot it, and some steps that you can take today to start to get yourself away from that diet culture mentality and start looking the other direction to see that it's actually possible to live a life without dieting. Okay, so diet culture. It is essentially a set of beliefs and norms within society that's perpetuated by the diet and wellness industry that we all need to be thin. This thin ideal that we all need to fit into this specific box. Now, this is regardless of your gender, your ethnicity, your access to healthcare, your access to food, your access to housing, your financial status. All of those things that I mentioned are known as your social determinants of health. And diet culture doesn't care about that. It basically says that regardless of any of those things, you need to look this way. And if you don't, then you're not seen as healthy. You're not seen as credible in your job. You're not seen as someone that can be taken seriously. You're not seen as someone that should have access to healthcare because you have done this to yourself. Okay, could really go down deep into a rabbit hole here, but all I really want you to understand and take away from this is that it's this perception that all of us should be thin and that thin equals healthy, and that to do that, we can achieve it by controlling and manipulating our bodies through food, exercise, supplements. Okay, but here it is, spoiler alert, it's the biggest load of bullshit. So that is why I do what I do today, to try and get people out of this mindset that we've all grown up with in society, and it's everywhere, absolutely everywhere, for you to start to realize that, okay, I don't have to believe this anymore. I don't have to, okay? And understanding where it's coming from, specific for you. And then you can start to undo and unravel all of this diet culture nonsense to create a set of beliefs and norms that actually fit you, that actually makes sense for you. You, your body type, your hunger levels, the kinds of food that you like to eat, all of it. Okay, so another aspect of diet culture is that it's this reliance on everything external to you. So this is where we see things like meal plans, diets, supplements, the rules around when you should eat, how much you should eat, what you should eat. And it's rife. Like, this is why people are so confused about nutrition, is because there's all these things being lumped on going, this is what you should eat. Oh, you should have this break. Oh, you should have intermittent fasting. Oh, now you should follow keto. And now you should be doing low carb. And now you should be doing high protein and blah, 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 all this. But the one goal, all of it, is weight loss. Every single time. And you may have noticed too that people are starting to cotton onto this, that this whole weight loss thing isn't really working out, that diets fail. People don't fail diets. Diets fail people. Okay, there's a massive failure rate. It's like 95%. That's a whole other thing. But people are cottoning on. People are becoming aware of this. So what's happened in recent years is wellness has now stepped up and gone, no. We don't do weight loss. We do weight loss for health. And this is another aspect of diet culture that's creeped in, because guess what? Thinness and weight loss does not equal health. I'm going to say it again. Weight loss and thinness does not equal health. You can be in a larger body and be healthy. You can be in a larger body and be unhealthy. Just the same as you can be in a smaller body and healthy and a smaller body and unhealthy. The size of your body makes absolutely no difference on your health. Okay, I'm not going to go down the deep rabbit warren that is about health at every size. That's a whole other separate thing that I'd love to talk about. But if this has kind of blown your mind a little bit and you're like, where is this coming from? Go to the Health at Every Size website. This is backed by studies. This isn't something that I've just made up and created. And this took me a long time to wrap my head around. But once you get that, once you understand that weight loss does not equal health, you can then see how wellness is also a load of bullshit. Because if they're now promoting weight loss as this health thing or this lifestyle, then, well, no, it's basically diet culture disguised as, you know, it's diet culture disguised. That's what it is, as this healthy lifestyle. So I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense there for you, that anytime you see something that is about this, all about manipulating your body for thin, manipulating your body to look a certain way, manipulating your body for health, manipulating this, manipulating that, like all this craziness, and that you need to control it by food and exercise and supplements, that's diet culture. And another point I'd like to make, and this is pretty much aligned with wellness, is this whole perception that you need to be pushing health onto you, right? It's this elitism, you know, overarching thing of going that if you become unwell, then you're seen as a failure, that you haven't done enough to prevent yourself from becoming unwell, right? That perfectly healthy people are feeling as though they need to be taking supplements to maintain that, or that they need to eat a certain clean and pure way and natural way, and anything other than that is seen as inferior, and that they're not taking adequate care of themselves, right? But that kind of behavior and that thinking causes more stress, right? Causes emotional issues with your health, emotional health. And this is something that we're forgetting, is diet culture really has this massive emphasis on physical health, yet it's missing that there's emotional health too. There's mental health too. And diet culture just strips that all away because it makes you feel like you're a failure, that you have no willpower, no discipline, because guess what? You can't fit into this little box. Now, if you have managed to do that, if you manage to fit into this thin ideal, how long can you sustain it for? Is that something that you can actually do? And if you are somebody who naturally can fit into that, and maybe, you know, you haven't needed to really work hard from the diet sense point of view and you can just arrive there, diet culture still leads you to feel bad about yourself, that you're comparing yourself to other people, that maybe you need to be thinner, or maybe you're not good enough, or you have that tiny little flaw in your body, and that you somehow need to fix that. Classic example is women who have had a baby. They've just given birth, and then somehow there is this external pressure to go and look how they used to 9 months ago. Like, that is just ludicrous. It's ridiculous. So that is diet culture. That is wellness. And I've probably alluded to the, excuse me, the easy way to spot it. Anything that is trying to make you manipulate your body, lose weight, that makes you feel shit about yourself, that has this mantra of, you know, you've got to have discipline, willpower, you've got to push through your pain, and you've got to just show up even if you don't want to. Like, that kind of mentality is just diet culture, okay? It really is diet culture. And I just want to make something clear here as well, that because you're not doing these things, right? If you take a step away from it, it doesn't mean that you're not taking care of yourself. It doesn't mean that you are suddenly don't care about health and you don't care about nourishing your body and moving your body. Absolutely not. Nothing can be further of the truth. Instead, what you're doing is you're coming from a place of self-compassion, self-respect, rather than self-hatred and dissatisfaction within yourself. You're already happy within yourself. You're adopting healthful behaviors because you respect yourself and you respect your body. And wherever your body happens to arrive in the physical sense is just where it happens to be. You're not trying to change it anymore. You're at peace with yourself. And that means that you start to then give yourself not only physical health, but emotional health and mental health. So I would argue that from a health point of view, you actually become healthier the more that you move away from this diet culture sense. And I haven't met anybody within the non-diet world who's adopted that who suddenly doesn't care about their health anymore. That just doesn't happen. That is not true. Instead, what happens is you actually start to honour your health in this whole other way. You're being kind to yourself. You're not trying to fit into this external view of what you should and should not be doing. Okay, I just wanted to add that in there because I think sometimes people can get lost in this. Well, if I'm not trying to be healthy and if I'm not trying to eat a certain way, then clearly the opposite of that is being unhealthy, and it's not. We're just looking at health in this other perspective and showing you that what you've been shown and taught isn't accurate and isn't necessarily true. But there's a whole other way that you can actually view yourself and view food that is healthful behaviours and health promoting. Okay, so that's diet culture. Talked a little bit how to spot it. So weight loss, anything that makes you feel like crap about your body, this willpower, discipline kind of thing. Some of the sneaky ways is, there's something wrong with your hormones. You need to reset it, and therefore we're going to do some kind of weight loss thing, or we're going to do some detox thing, or we're going to do lifestyle. It's not a diet, but somebody is still giving you when to eat, what to eat, the quantities to eat, right? All of that is taking away your innate power within yourself to govern what you should and should not be eating. Okay, and that's what intuitive eating does, is it gets you to go, what do I need for my body? Because somebody external telling me how much to eat and when still isn't really solving the problem. Like, it's still not helping me tune into myself and what my body really needs. And that can't come from a meal plan. It can't come from somebody external from you. It's got to come from within. Okay, so even though there may be this well-intentioned lifestyle, you're approaching menopause and you feel terrible about how you're eating, you want to lose a bit of weight, well, you need to ask yourself the question is, why do you feel like you have to lose weight? And is that belief accurate? They're the questions that you need to ask yourself, okay? So there's some ways to kind of spot it, right? Anything that is about controlling your food, manipulating your body, making you feel like you don't fit in if you fit outside of that, that is diet culture. That is diet culture. Okay, so what can you do today? What can you do right now to start to get yourself out of it? Probably one of the first things I would recommend is a social media cull. So any accounts that you follow on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatever it happens to be, anything that kind of promotes those things that I just mentioned, I would recommend ditching it, because it's just going to keep you in this cycle of thinking that you need to be losing weight, or you need to be having this supplement, or you need to be doing this, that, and whatever else. So get rid of that. What I would suggest is to then start following accounts that are the complete opposite to what you've been taught. Particularly if you're on the fence and you're like, this sounds a little bit weird, I want to believe it, but I don't know. Start to surround yourself and see whether you can actually feel the possibility that this non-diet approach is possible. Okay, see other people who have done it, who have changed their beliefs. So some great hashtags. So you could follow intuitive eating hashtags, health at every size, body positivity, body acceptance. You could follow, they're probably the main ones that I would start with. Anything that's kind of steering you away from this whole diet mentality. So going down the path of non-diet. So that is what I would recommend for you today, is a social media cull. If that's all that you did today, you are going to be well and truly setting yourself up to start to see the possibility of the non-diet life, actually starting to understand what that actually means. So yeah, that's where I want to leave it today. I hope this has made sense for you, but just to wrap it up, diet culture is essentially this belief that you can manipulate your body to fit into this thin ideal, regardless of your background, regardless of who you are as a person, and that if you fall anything outside of that, that you're somehow a failure and that you're not looking after your health and not looking after yourself. Wellness culture is a sneaky way that can pop in by often promoting lifestyle approaches disguised as diet culture. So still talking about weight loss, but from this, lifestyle point of view. And I would recommend to you that if you were going down the path of weight loss, asking yourself the question of, why do I feel like I need to lose weight? And is that accurate? Is that belief actually accurate? And the number one thing that I would do today is do a social media cull. Get rid of those accounts that are promoting diet culture and instead find those that are showing the opposite, so that you can start to see the possibility out there that diet culture is a load of nonsense, a load of crap, and it's not your fault for thinking this way. It's not your fault for feeling like you need to be thin. It's not your fault for feeling like you need to be pushing health onto yourself. Okay, so I come to that with you. Give yourself some self-compassion, give yourself a bit of a hug, give yourself some kindness. Okay, because I know it's probably been a long time since you've done that, and I really want you to just kind of shake it off and go, it is not my fault that I think this way. It is diet culture, and this is why. Okay, I hope that's been of use for you. And if you would like to connect with me and learn about this more, please send me a message and I can let you know about how we can chat about this one-on-one. I would love to help you out. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye.